Hello everyone, James Tennant here. Today I thought I'd do a PLM 360 demonstration. I haven't done one in a little while, so I thought I'd get back onto it. And today I think I'll focus on how to create a script to automatically link in items into the workspace, or into the relationships tab, I should say. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and created a couple of workspaces, and what basically I want to happen here is when I create an item in a workspace and I pick an item from within a list from another workspace. So for example, with that, rather than me trying to explain it, I'll just show you. I've got a start workspace and I've got a stop workspace. Now the start workspace might contain items with details about contact information. So if I look at start workspace, I've got a couple of items in there, and if I just go and create a new one, you can see it's just things like name, age, and contact number. Simple little workspace. So the name might be Ben, and the age might be 30, and a contact number. And that just creates items into this workspace, which is all pretty straightforward. Now, in the stop workspace, I want to go ahead and, if I was to create a new item in here, I've got an automatically generated number that's populating in here, and I've also got this item here, or this field called linked, and this is picking from the workspace of the start workspace. So if I was to go ahead and pick let's say John Smith and go save, that gives me a link to that start workspace. Again, we're in the stop workspace at the moment. If I was to click on this, it would link to the item in the start workspace. However, if I was to look at the references of this file, you can see it has no linked references. So if this was an audit, or if this was a kappa, it would be very difficult for me to track the entire progress of a particular change. So if it went through audit, then kappa, then change request, then change order, I wouldn't have those links all given to me in this field here to track all the way back to where it's come from. So that's what I want to be able to do, and that's why I want it to go into the relationships tab. Now in the relationships tab, there are a few options to add the relationship. In here you've got all your items. So again, I linked it to John Smith, so I would manually have to go and do this, and then I've got a couple of fields here that I need to fill in. Now these fields are directly corresponding with what I need to enter into my script to do this automatically. So we'll come back to this in a moment to show you each field and how it relates to the script. But there is a couple of things we need to do to prepare before we even get that. If I jump down into my admin tools into the stop area, on my item details tab, I have made this linked field here, and it is a linked field to a workspace start item descriptor. So that's the way I've configured the linked field there. And I also need to make sure that I have a relationship between the start and the stop workspaces. To do that, I go to the workspace relationships area, and I make sure there's a relationship tab, relationship with the start workspace. And that's basically all the setup we need to do. From there, all I'm going to do is jump into my scripting and make a new script. In this script, I'm going to give it a name, so I'm just going to call it test AddRelated. That'll do. You can give it a description. It's an action script. You can give it a description if you want, but I'm not going to worry about it. I've got this already done, so here is, just copy that across and paste it in here. So this is the string that we use to add those linked. So you can see the add relationship object there, and we've got brackets as to how it's going to work. Now, as I mentioned before, we have each one of these fields separated by a comma, and each one of those fields relates to these fields here on the relationships area. So the first one there is the item descriptor. So if I look in my script, the item descriptor is being extracted from this field. So I've used the item.linked field to grab the item descriptor of the other workspace. Comma, and then I put in quotation marks cross-reference. Cross-reference being the relationship type, and you can see we don't really have another option there at the moment. The next one is bidirectional. So this is basically whether it's unidirectional or bidirectional, and those are the choices we've got in here. Now you can see as well, these are saying bidirectional and unidirectional with a dash in there, and when we do that in scripting we don't put the dash in, even though we did it there. So just something to be aware of. Actually, I believe if you put in a 1 or a 2 being bidirectional, 1 being unidirectional, it will do the same thing. So if I did that, that would be unidirectional. If I did that, it would be bidirectional. Haven't tested that, so I think that will work, but I haven't tested it, so I'm just going to go with what I know. And then finally you can put a description in. This is optional. You don't need to put the description in. Actually, I think the cross-reference is optional as well, but again, I don't know. And that's all you need to do. So that's actually a really simple script to run, and you can just add it to the bottom of any other script that you've got running at the time as well. So all very easy. Let's go and save that. One thing that you probably should do, okay, let's put 2 in there. Mustn't have deleted one that I did earlier. Haven't seen that one before. Let's just edit this one and use this one. So let's just go and paste that one in and save that one. Okay. Alright, so now I have the AddRelated script that I wanted. So there it is there. Now I want to use that on the creation of a stop workspace item. So back in my workspace admin, go to stop. By the way, something I didn't mention, but if you're going to do this on a creation, you probably should make this mandatory. So we should add a validation to selection required, because you don't want to forget to put it in, then add it in, because then it won't add the link. So if you want to do it on creation, you should add a required onto that linked field. So going down to here, behaviors, and let's go and run the script test AddRelated on creation. That's on the stop workspace. Alright, so I think we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and jump over to the stop workspace. Again, the start workspace has these 3 names. We want to link to them as we select them. So let's go ahead and create a new one, and let's call it James. That's me. Once I click save, the script will run, and it will add that item, the James tenant item, from the start workspace into the relationship of this item here. And you can see a description has been put in and everything like that. Works really well. So that's how to do it. And now, just to prove a point, you have a relationship between the 2 objects, which is exactly how you want it. Good. Okay, so that's how to do it. Let me know if you've got any questions or anything. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.